If you have an interest in horses and love learning more about horses, the horse industry, teaching, or even managing your own horse business, then you're in the right place. We would love you to join us on our mission, which is to improve the lives of horses around the world through the education of riders, handlers, and trainers. So get comfortable, listen in, and enjoy.
This has been another episode sponsored by Online Horse College. If you haven't had a look at the wide variety of equine-specific accredited courses, then go to onlinehorsecollege.com and I'll see you over there. Our conversation at Horse Chats today has been brought to you by Equitana. Equitana is now celebrating 20 years of bringing Australian horse lovers everything they love, including equine entertainment, exhibition and competition. Join us on the 15th to the 18th of November in the heart of Melbourne to witness a packed program including the main event, Full Flight, Dressage Freestyle, All-Star The Way of the Horse, and an Australian show jumping record attempt which has been held for almost 39 years, as well as the best in equine retail therapy with more shops than Melbourne Central. After our chat today with Tarni Woodhead, go to equitana.com.au and have a look. Today, we're talking to Tarni Woodhead. She's an equestrian coach. She loves to work with adults getting back into the saddle, and she specialises in building their confidence. So this often happens. You know, people ride when they're younger, don't ride for a little while, start riding again, and all of a sudden they realise that they're just not as confident as they have been in the past. So she specialises in building their confidence by using foundational skills both on the ground and under saddle. Now, how are you today, Tarni?
I'm good, thank you. And how are you?
Yeah, good, Tarni. Yeah. Good to talk to you. And I think your particular tips and tricks do help people, just get back in the saddle. And we've sort of got listeners from all over the world, so they can't all just, hop in the car and go down to visit you. But we'll talk about your contact details at the end for people that can. But meanwhile, just to help us get to know you a little bit better, tell us about your favourite quote.
I probably have too many. I definitely do like quite a lot of George Morris's quotes. He certainly does hit the nail on the head. But I also like, I suppose, that one that's, reach for the stars, because if you miss, you'll always, reach the moon. So, I do really like that one, because it doesn't matter what goal you have, you'll if you keep working hard enough, basically you'll get there.
Yeah, I think that reach for the stars itself, it sounds like the sort of coach you want to go to build your confidence. So that sort of gets us going straight away. Now, Tarni, earlier on with horses, I want you to think back and think about a memory that you had or a lesson that you've learned from horses when you were young. Have you got something there that you can sort of look back and say that was really a learning experience?
A learning experience? There's so many. I think every single horse that you work with teaches you something. So, working with a range of horses, I've had that many. I'm lucky, I think, because I have had, so many different horses that have been completely different, and then had the opportunity to work with other horses as well. That has taught me, so much about, I suppose, how horses communicate and how, different things work for different horses and different things work for different riders. So certainly being, I guess, the way I started was my family aren't horsey at all. So it was quite a unique, I suppose, way of starting where I happened to just walk into a pony club one day and always wanted horses my whole life. And I was very fortunate that I had met some lovely people at the pony club, and they allowed me to they were very experienced too. So, I was allowed to lease a horse, and they guided me and then, helped me right from the word go. And I always had very correct kind of initial training and help. So that having a really good support, supporting people around you really helps with, your whole journey, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you are one of the lucky ones, that had the right support around you, because sometimes I talk to people and they tell me some of their stories early and, you shake your head and go, wow, how did you live through that? How did you not have an accident? How did you not lose your confidence? But somehow they've managed through it. And just going back to the communication, think about a specific time about communicating with a horse. When did you first realise that horses really can communicate with people? And
probably, even back to my early days with, I had another horse. It's probably my third horse I had, but he was actually, I was leasing him. Had another, fantastic opportunity to lease an event horse, and he was quite difficult in a way. Very, very calm, but quite difficult to get forward. And, that taught me a lot as to why he didn't want to go forward, or, all those sort of things that with an open mind, you learn to work out, why they do things like that and have a better understanding. And that's when you can then address issues and, not think they're doing things for, the wrong reasons. There's always a reason, yeah.
Yeah, I think that why is very important. It's not just because they're being manipulative, or it's not just because they think this is going to lead to something down the track. It's understanding why they're doing what they're doing. And I think once you understand that why, then you can really do something about it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, and that's where I find with the adult riders that I work with that are lacking confidence. Once they really learn to communicate with their horse better, and they learn why they're doing things, the horse is reacting a certain way, they can instantly respond in the correct way and use their body language to help them work with their horse. And then they start to build a really strong relationship with their horse, and the horse starts trusting more. They start trusting their horse more, and it just stems on there.
Yeah. What got you started with teaching the adult riders that you do, and what got you started with the helping people with confidence? Because sometimes I think you almost stumble across something as a bit of a fluke, and then word of mouth, people that need confidence start going to you, and you build up a reputation and you can specialise. Is that the way it started with you, or did you lack confidence at some stage, or what happened there?
No, nothing like that. I think I've been very lucky. I suppose I'm a very supportive person, and I've been very lucky that by starting with teaching, when I was a lot younger, and I've been coaching now for over 20 years, so you just get better at it and better at it, and you keep improving all the time. And I've just, by word of mouth, I guess, but also now probably for the last, maybe it's been now 8 or 9 years, I've actually now almost created a team environment, which I really think that team support goes a long way with a lot of riders. They learn that they're not the only ones, that are having that problem, or it really helps. And that I think alone is what has really taken Woodcrest, my business, to the next level. That that supportiveness.
Yes, going into it knowing that you're not the only one that's going through that. I think a lot of groups start like that, not particularly horse groups, but just that supportive environment is good. Yeah. What about the sort of person, because you obviously run it, and there's, leadership skills involved in running a group like that. It's not just the horse skills and being supportive. You've got to be supportive. Any other skills that you think you need to have a group of people and keep them together in that team environment?
I think there is a confidence side. I mean, I certainly think you do need to be confident. The other thing, though, I'm outgoing, but I'm not like a person that could easily, stand in front of a crowd and, I'm definitely would avoid that by any means. But I think what makes me a confident person is the passion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so passionate that I could then stand there and, I could talk about, what I'm passionate about all day long.
Yes.
And I have to stop myself sometimes.
And you're doing something that's worked. You've obviously picked up skills that work, and that makes you confident anyway, knowing that those skills work, knowing that those, the way that you're teaching is working and helping people.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is never something you do. You're not ever the best at it. You're always learning and you're always improving. I always love, the best thing you've got to do is always evaluate, after you've done a clinic or after you've done a group session or, anything you do is always basically really think about what you could do better, what worked, what didn't work, and that way the next time you just can build on that, experience for everyone, not just yourself, but, more people can get, more things out of it if you, just by getting better.
Yeah. And I think that's for everything, like you're doing it after a training session or a clinic or something, but, after a competition, after any interaction, after just a training session with your horse and even while you're riding, did that work well? When I did that circle, did it go well? What could be improved? Yeah. And it's just that constant improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to every year with all my students, I have a goal setting form and we do a goal setting session, and even just to write down, obviously plans change throughout the year with horses, we all know that.
Yep.
But it's nice to get an idea of then what we're going to be working towards and start to plan on breaking down those goals, and then it's a great sort of opportunity to learn also what people are really wanting to do without me influencing them.
I think sometimes people can surprise themselves setting goals like that. I can remember having a session with some of my students one time and we were setting some goals, and there was one particular person who wasn't very confident with their own ability and set some goals 3 months out or 6 months out or whatever. And, in 3 months' time, we came along, revisited the goals, and we just said, but you've achieved every single one of those goals. And she started to shake because she didn't realise that, she sort of just came along with it because she wanted to set the goals because everyone else was doing it. But, she started to shake when she realised that she really could start to achieve something just by doing little bits all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so rewarding, isn't it? It's fantastic.
Definitely. Rewarding for her, rewarding for me as a coach, but I'm sure rewarding for a horse as well.
That's fantastic.
Now, with these people that come in, just as a general thing, if you go into a clinic, into a group, what's a common problem that a non-confident rider would have? What sort of things would have caused the non-confidence? What sort of things, what sort of signs do they show? Do they call you up and say, I've lacked confidence, I need you to help me? Or do they just come for a lesson and you could see by whatever they're doing that they lack confidence?
It's normally an anxiety issue, and that's, stemmed from something the horse may be doing, or it could be coming from like a personal issue as well. But, generally, the horse is responding in a way that they're not understanding why, and they're thinking it's a negative response, and their instant reaction is to back off, to run away. Then it starts to go pear-shaped because the horse is obviously either feeling or seeing that response, and then that's when a horse starts to get worse. So it tends to be definitely something that has initially been can be something really minor, but as we all know, like a horse can they just don't understand when someone, a rider or if you're on the ground, starts to panic and almost go into your shell and think backwards, or I'm out of here. A horse gets very worried when you start to get worried. So first of all, I guess I like to basically start from then the ground and work with the horse and the rider's relationship, and get them to understand what your horse is doing, what even the technicalities behind your horse may be stronger or weaker on one side, and showing them the whole mechanical side of what your horse is actually doing, and then have them understand fully before they even get on how to work with their horse, and get that relationship back on track, before they even think about getting on. They get the respect from the ground. I want them to be a leader for their horse, that their horse looks to them for confidence.
Yep.
And then, we really work on a lot of tools that I do on the ground, and work on getting better reactions and reaction times, not using more aids. We want less aids and bigger reactions, but less aid in a way.
Okay. So you've talked about tools and exercise. We've got just getting the horse to respond quicker. What's some of the exercises that you ask them to do? What's an early exercise or a couple of early exercises that you say, do this first. When your horse does this, then we can move on to the next step?
The one thing I like to start with is showing the rider from the ground.
Yep.
What a real reaction is, and what a half-hearted reaction is. So the best thing you can do, and anyone can do it, even by just listening to me, but they can try it at home right now. That when you ask your horse to back up off the ground,
yep.
Does your horse just step back, or does it really jump away? Do you have to keep asking for every step, or can you just walk towards your horse and it keep walking away? That's the biggest thing is you want your horse to, if you're leading it and you basically you stop beside your horse, you want it to stop next to you without you even asking with the lead rope.
Yep.
You want it to just stand next to you when you stand there. And when you walk on, it walks with you. You don't have to pull them. You don't have to push them. You don't have to do anything. It's all body language. And then when you walk around the front of the horse, and if you walk then towards them, say towards their space, you want them to back away. Again, without whips, I'm a big believer of less is better.
Yes.
And so I definitely want horses to be, working with you, and being a partnership. So, and it's just a matter of, getting that reaction first. And we want, obviously, a horse that's can be, sometimes quite dull, and on the some can be very almost too bomb-proof sometimes.
Yeah.
And then they are probably the more difficult ones to get a reaction out of, but still easy. It's just learning how to make your body language quite big. And again, you don't need whips, you don't need anything. You learn to basically able to do that to get the response. And then you start getting that those leadership skills start to fall into place.
Yep. No, that's good. That's good. Now, that's on the ground. Do you sort of carry that through when you're doing exercises under the saddle? Or for someone who does suffer from anxiety, who does worry about getting on, they might be fine, you might be at a stage where you're happy with the work they're doing on the ground. So once they get in the saddle, what are some of the earlier exercises that you ask them to do?
I really like working, with riders that are, some of them are terrified. So, when they get that confidence on the ground, and then we get back on, it's very important. And I'm quite good at reading people, so I can really see, a rider that needs, to do, maybe less. Or, I'm not going to say to say one of my riders that are terrified that, just go large, around the arena.
Yep.
That's not going to happen. So I generally try and keep them going small circles and lots of changes of direction and work on the horse's connection. That if you can get a better connection and contact, then you generally, you're going to fix the problem before, you sort of, I guess the rider starts wanting to hang off, the horse's mouth, or, or the horse starts running on the forehand and wanting to take off, or things like that. So if we can work on a smaller circle, and I usually work around, like when I'm coaching, it's around me, then I can work on the contact. And once we've got the contact, the horse is really following the contact and the rider's able to let go, then that is the key. Because once the rider can let go, the horse is more relaxed. So then the rider's more relaxed, and then we can go from there. So that once you get that, it's great. It's, the best start, because then both horses happy, riders then confident. Well, not confident, but you know what I mean? It's
getting better.
Feeling safe. That's the key, is that they feel safe. And when you can, when a horse is lovely into the contact, then anyone feels so much safer. If they're against the hand or running through the hand or sucking back and you've got no contact, we all know that can feel horrible if you're really anxious. But if the horse is lovely seeking the contact and that lovely contact feeling, then it's a lovely feeling, and it gives you confidence.
Yes, I can see that, just the smaller areas with the beginners, the horse is not getting away from them. And the turning also too, it means that they're changing their aids all the time instead of just getting a bit stuck on their aids. Yeah, so you might be turning right, turning left. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And the biggest thing is when a rider is not confident, is that they're not using their legs.
Yes.
They're not riding forward.
Yes.
And that's when the horse instantly feeling that panic.
Yep.
And we all know horses feel everything. They sense everything. So, they know we're feeling a bit negative before we even do. Once that they feel that they can let go with their hands, instantly the horse actually relaxes and they actually feel lazy. So then the rider can put their leg on and start riding forward. So then it ends up, you sort of get on the right track, and then it all basically unfolds. You don't have that, when a horse gets tense and then you pull back and then it starts running even more, and then it's like a domino effect. And before you know it, the rider's terrified again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I think that's a good exercise for people to do at home, to if you're not sure, you're not happy going out in the big arena or going out in a trail ride or whatever, start to do your small circles, changing direction, keep your horse going forward, same rhythm and tempo, but just keep them going forward. And what do you do? Start at the walk and then go to trot?
Yeah. Start in walk and just keep turning and try and just use one rein. Focus on that, following that rein, that you want the horse to really follow the rein, and then you change direction and you follow the other rein, and you until the horse is really following it, and almost down towards the ground in a way that, and then you can start trotting and doing thing. If the horse starts getting quicker, change direction. Or if the horse, to run again, you spot, you obviously want, you feel the horse start to slow down when you unbalance them a little bit, so you can use that change of direction, or you can use the smaller circles and things like that.
If you're an equestrian coach or a horse riding instructor, or even if you aspire to be one, have a look at the free video series for horse riding instructors on the Horse Chats website. Go there now, have a look, horsechats.com. Now, for you as a coach, and this is more like a business challenge, I suppose, for someone who says, yes, I've taught a little bit like that, I'd like to do more, what's been your biggest challenge in getting your group together? Getting a group where they are together and supporting each other. I'm just thinking about as a coach for someone who is teaching a rider who's not very confident, but also too for a rider that's not confident that would like to join a group of other riders that can support them? What do you think is the best thing for them to do, or what do you think is the best thing for the coach to do to start to get them together?
If you're starting from scratch, I think so many people are always looking, I suppose, for that type of thing. So, just advertising something and maybe you just start with even doing, free days, where you might even just do off horse. Like I've done for my team, I do a lot of, I give a lot of my time. I have, even a private group on social media that that I pretty much I'm always available to answer questions and all of that anytime pretty much. But I think one of the best things is, organising a fun day somewhere where you get everyone to. We did one day an off horse sort of clinic where we all brought pool noodles,
Okay.
and everyone had to basically make their pool noodle into a horse and decorate it, and just for fun,
Yep,
and then we did an off horse day where everyone just was able to have a fun no stress day, getting together and socializing and I didn't like a lot of days. I can't remember if I charged anything for that particular one, but I don't charge much. It might have been $10 or $20, but that's just a way of starting, and then can just be good fun and relaxing for everyone.
And I think if you are doing something, everyone, if you say you want to do it professionally, but if you just think about any of those free days or low-cost days, it's almost like an investment in your future self.
Yes,
that
absolutely.
you're doing something to just get people together, and it's a bit of a trial. It just sort of gives them a reason to go and to test and to see how things are. Yep.
Yeah, exactly, and they get to know you, and they get to know as well, like what you're all about, and not. I mean, I'm certainly not the coach for everyone, because I and like anyone else, there's people, there's coaches for certain people, and then you've got to almost try someone, and if you work well with them and you can really connect with someone, and that's you've got to stick to what works for you. So
Yes.
That's where it's a matter of you can find that right group, and what the group that you really fit into.
Yep.
And then it'll just do wonders for anyone.
What's the best thing about teaching people to get more confident with their horses?
Oh, it's so rewarding. I mean, it's just amazing at how they are so inspirational to me. I just find they are the reason why I want to do better with my own horses, and that they're doing amazing things, and improving just out of sight. That it just it's really inspirational.
Yep. Good. All right. Now, what are you looking forward to at the moment, Tarni? What have you got coming up?
So I have my young horse that is I've been doing a lot of work with, that's about to be broken in.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a 3-year-old warm blood cross Irish sport horse that I'm looking forward to seeing what sort of is going to be ahead for us. But I'm really looking forward to riding him next year, and
good.
doing a bit of work with him before then. He's going to have a break. So
Yep.
So there's that, and he's very flash on the flat. So and he's bred to jump as well. But I think we won't be jumping for a very long time, but yeah, it'll be really exciting to start another one, and with my event mare that I've been eventing, she's just done her first pre-novice this year, so looking forward to next year and hopefully getting to the 3-day event in Queensland, and then eventually seeing if maybe she'll step up another grade next year. But anything can happen. We just keep improving, and she'll do her first medium dressage early next year. So that'll be exciting as well.
Good. All right then. Now, if you were going to give our listeners a message, we might have listeners who don't have confidence, who don't have confidence in their horse, don't have confidence in themselves. What's the message you give to them, and just so they can remember that?
No, just know that you're not the only ones. And get help. Don't ever be afraid to get help. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, or you can be sometimes some professional riders, just need a little bit extra help or whatever. Try and just get help. And also, there's plenty of even online free groups, and there's just so much help available. So by any means, just don't ever be afraid to get help.
Yeah, and you've got a group online, haven't you, Tarni? How can people contact you there?
They can contact me either on Facebook. I have the Woodcrest Equestrian Facebook page.
Yep.
They can either send me a message on there, or I have the website is woodcrestequestrian.com, or they can even either send me a private message or a phone me, or I'm always available to help anytime. All
right, no, that's good, and I'm sure that you'll get some contacts through, because there's always a problem with confidence. It may not be you today, but you might have a fall, you might have a problem with your horse, and all of a sudden you lost confidence, and you just want to have someone to talk to about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, because we may have consistency, and then all of a sudden, things change.
Yes, yeah. All right, Tarni, look, thank you for talking to us today. I know we've been talking and really specialising in this confidence, but I think you're really an expert at it. But, you've got other areas of expertise that I'd like to talk to you some more about as well, and I'd like to chat to you in another interview. So that would be great to get you back, if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank
Brilliant.
you very much.
Okay, well, we'll talk to you soon then, Tarni. Thank you.
Thanks heaps. Bye.
Now, if you're still there, you probably know that I'm absolutely passionate about education within the horse industry. That's why I host this podcast. My other venture is Online Horse College. Have a look now at onlinehorsecollege.com, and I'll see you over there.
Remember that our comments and instructions are general in nature and do not take into consideration your individual horses or your individual ability and circumstances. If you enjoyed this podcast, then please leave your comment below.